Hi guys and welcome. So in this video we're going to be going through the clear coat stage on this Ford RS Turbo repaint. I know a lot of you guys have been following this, so I wanted to get this up this weekend for you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up part 4 on this, which is going to be painting the last little parts, which will be the front bumper, arches, and a few little other bits and pieces, and also include a bit of footage of the finished car, because that's something that I've struggled with so far, because obviously I've been painting. I'm just pretty much primarily painting and repairing, and I've not been able to get much footage of the finished cars, so that's going to be something that we're going to start adding into the videos. Now you might have seen me there just holding up a tin. That is the Quartz VOC Speedster. Now that is an activated thinner, so basically it's kind of like a rocket in a thinner, pre-mixed, all ready to go, to help guys like myself that are doing air dry work to get that bit of a faster cure. Now basically all you do is you replace your standard thinner that you put in your clear with the VOC Speedster, and I'll give you some thoughts on that a bit later in the video. So clear coat wise, we're using the Colomix MS Clear for this. It's not a bad clear coat. It's a 2:1 mix ratio, and I pop 10% thinners in it because I just find it flows that little bit better. Now with something like my Iwata W400 that I'm using here, this is a 1.3 setup, and I'll be putting it on roughly around about 2.5 turns out on the fluid with a full fan and 2 bar of pressure. Now this is the first big lacquering job I've done in this new setup, and it's also the first big lacquering job I've done in the booth. So you will see me tweaking the regulator on my gun a little bit, just to try and even the pressure and regulate the pressure a little bit, because at this stage I hadn't quite got all my regulators and everything dialed in to the point where I was getting a nice even airflow all the way through the booth throughout the whole job. That is something now that I've got sussed. It just meant a little bit of tweaking on my inline regulator that's closer to the compressor itself in order to get the right constant flow down the lines. But as I said, we are going to make a separate video on compressors and have a bit of a general chit chat about those to try and help some of you guys out, because I do get a lot of questions asking about compressors, CFM ratings, regulators, moisture traps and stuff like that. And I'm still running a very basic setup in this place as I'm getting it sort of like up and running. So you can see what I'm using at the moment, and then we'll get into things a bit more in depth as things move on in the future. So application wise on this, we're going pretty much your standard MS Clear application wise. We're going for 2 real good, nice, wet, full close coats on this job. Now as far as this job goes, it did come out quite nice. You can see at this point it looks like there's a hell of a lot of overspray actually lingering in the booth. I wanted to give this booth a really good test on this respray, because these booths obviously aren't designed for doing a big job such as this. They're meant for doing small to medium repair work, smart repairs and that sort of thing. But one thing I will say is, at this point I had this fan turned on the second setting, which is kind of like, I'd say it's probably at around about half the fan's output. If you turn it on the third setting, it actually doubles the fan output. And since then I've actually been running it on the third setting since making this video, and haven't really had much of a problem with any overspray lingering. Now although in this video it does look like there is a lot of lingering overspray, it's say around about 60 seconds after I'd finished painting, this whole booth was clear and running fresh as a daisy again. It really does clear really well, and I have to say I was quite impressed for something that's, you know, really not designed to take this much of a beating, if you want. We did kind of want to test drive this booth as much as we could to give it the best look for you guys, so you guys can see what sort of stuff you can put out in it and just how clean you can get a job out of this booth. And I have to say, on this, And also in coming videos I'm just about finishing up editing up a lacquer review on a BMW, and you'll see just how clean and how nice that came out in the booth. And I have to say I was very shocked at just how good it did come out, to be fair, for something that is a mobile booth. Now I've given that roughly around about 5-10 minute flash off, because obviously we are working in ambient temperatures, there's no heating in this booth, and as you can see it's really nice, it's looking really good at this stage, and we're now ready to lay this second coat down and get this now a real good solid heavy wet coat, and try and get this now really nice and glassed out if we can. So one thing that you'll notice is I always start in the middle of the scuttle panel, between the windscreen and the bonnet. Now yes, you may get a slight dry edge there. Now there's a little tip and a little trick that I showed in the mini repaint video, which is basically, if you've got a big car like this, what I don't like to do is try and run around really chasing my arse trying to keep that wet edge, if there's an easier way of doing it. Now the only place that I'm going to end up with a dry edge on this shell, painting this way, is on that scuttle panel. I can keep the roof wet, I can keep the back wet. The only part that obviously is going to sit that little bit too long really will be that join in the scuttle panel. So once I've finished this respray and I've done all this, all I'm going to do is really quickly pop out of the booth, mix a tiny little bit of the lacquer up with a little drop of fade out thinner, and then blow that over that centre line on that scuttle panel where there will be a tiny bit of a dry edge, and that will eliminate that dry edge. Now that saves me a little bit of an extra running around and a little bit of extra stress, if you want, while you're in the booth, because the more comfortable of a way you can move around this car when you're repainting it, the chances are the better finish you're going to end up at the end of it, because you're not thinking, oh my god, I've got to rush around because I've got to try and get back to that bit because I don't want a dry edge there. You know, for me, preferably, I would take my time, I would lacquer it in the way that feels most comfortable, and if I end up with a tiny little dry edge on that scuttle panel, that is no issue whatsoever, because all it's going to take is probably 50mm of fade out thinner in the gun with a tiny bit of clear, flash that over that before it's fully cured, and it's going to melt that edge in nice, and we're going to end up with a real nice seamless scuttle panel when that's faded out. So something like that, not really an issue. Now you can see on this second coat I am going really nice and heavy and really nice and wet, because I really do want to try and get this finish as best as I can off the gun to eliminate the amount of flat and polishing time we're going to spend. At this stage we're still getting used to the booth, as I was explaining, so I was getting a few dirt nibs in it, etc. So we did do a flat and polish on this car, which I've done a full video set on, which you can see. There's a video on how to flat and polish clear coat, and that goes through everything that you need, the compounds, the buffing heads, and all the setup that I use in this little setup that I've set up for YouTube, to make these videos for you guys. The other thing that you'll notice is, yes, I'm not wearing a spray suit, and yes, I've not got any gloves on. Still getting the last few bits and bobs together. I haven't got a decent spray suit at the moment. I'm still working on that, and at this stage I was working with an half decent mask. I want to try and get a better mask in as well, and also I need to get hold of some gloves and some bits and pieces to get the setup fully up and running and get everything that I need as well as everything we need to do the cars. But bit by bit we are getting everything set up now, and we're shooting footage pretty much at least every other day at the moment, if not every single day. So there's plenty of videos in the pipeline. I am working like mad editing stuff up, guys, so just bear with me, because as soon as I get a little bit further ahead on the editing, then we can get back to what the original plan was with the channel when I very first started this, which is at least 2 to 3 videos a week, and we might even chuck the odd little short video and little blog video in between, popping up those videos as well. So this is not far off now, really, the end of the second coat. this job did come out nice. If you stay tuned till the end, as always, I've got all the finished pictures of the car, and I've also got some pictures of the car. Now it's flat and polished and pretty much fully rebuilt. Like I said, we are going to put one last video on this job where I'll run through the last bit of painting on the arches, the mirrors and the front bumper and the spoiler, and then we'll have a bit of a video walk around of this finished car so you guys can see just how nice this has come out. The BMW video that's coming up after this, which is a clear coat review. I've also got some footage and a walk around of that car before, during and after the whole job, which is something that I'm going to start adding in to all the videos from now on. It's something we've been asked for in the past, which hasn't always been possible, but it's something that we are going to start adding in the future. And also, very shortly, the videos are going to take a bit of a change and we're going to get a bit of a new look. I managed to get a bit of a better editing software, which has taken me a good week or two at least to try and learn how to use and try and learn how to get these videos a little bit better visually for you guys, because obviously I want you guys to enjoy the watching experience as well as, you know, for you guys that are coming on to learn something about the trade. You know, I'd like you to enjoy watching them a little bit more as well as enjoy the learning experience, or maybe just enjoy watching another painter get on with his day, throwing some paint down, you know, and enjoying what he does. I don't know. I know everybody who comes on has their own reasons for watching. Some like to learn, some like just to watch another painter do their stuff, some are looking at the materials reviews. You know, it's nice that everyone's got their own little thing that they come on and watch for. So if there is anything that you guys want to see, maybe you come on to watch a particular thing and you want a little bit more of something adding into the videos, or maybe you want a particular video making up, then please don't hesitate. Drop us a comment in the comments box below, hit us up on Instagram or send us a message through Facebook, and we'll do our best to try and get you a video made and edit it up to answer any questions that you may have on products or materials or application, or maybe you need a little tip for doing something. Just drop us a message, let us know, and we'll do our best to get something edited up for you. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I'm going to leave you with this final bit of painting. If you're new to the channel, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And for you returning subscribers, thank you once again for coming back and watching the video, and don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. So that's it for me, and I'll see you again soon.